Good evening, Stevens Point. I'm Kenna Rentmeester.
And I'm Nate Wegner.
How's it going today, Nate?
Going pretty well. How are you doing?
Pretty cold outside.
Yes, it is.
This week at SPTV News, a Stevens Point local is reported missing, the coronavirus reaches Wisconsin, and the presidential primaries are neck and neck.
All this and more when we return.
On Tuesday, February 11th, Sylvan Dyken was reported missing from Stevens Point. Dyken is a 22-year-old male with autism and was last seen that Tuesday morning. Allegedly, he left of his own accord, and his last known location was Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. However, Wednesday evening, an update was released by the Stevens Point Police Department stating that Dyken has made contact with his family. Dyken is no longer considered a missing person.
The Department of Health Services has confirmed the first case of the novel coronavirus in Wisconsin. Officials say the patient is doing well in quarantine at home. George Saris has more on the story.
The University of Wisconsin Hospital in Madison has confirmed the first case of the Wuhan coronavirus in the state. The patient, a Wisconsin resident, is reported to have recently traveled to Beijing, where they may have interacted with individuals from Wuhan, the origin of the virus. They were admitted to the hospital on January 31st, where they were quarantined immediately in accordance with protocol for patients with travel history in the area or symptoms similar to the virus. The hospital administered tests for the virus, which the World Health Organization recently named COVID-19, short for Coronavirus Disease 2019. On February 6th, UW Hospital notified the Wisconsin Department of Health Services that the test had returned positive. There are now a total of 14 patients who have tested positive for the virus in the United States, with an additional 66 tests still pending results. This case was the first and only positive result of the 15 tests administered in the state of Wisconsin to date, and there are no tests currently pending results.
The Department of Health Services states that the risk to public health is still very low in both Wisconsin and the United States in general. The best way to prevent transmission and spread of the virus is to cover your coughs, wash your hands, and if you feel sick, stay at home.
The Portage County Boys and Girls Club is launching a new program called Be Great and Graduate. The program is meant to encourage young students on a path towards graduating high school and creating plans for what to do after. Each student will be paired with a mentor to ensure a successful on-time graduation plan. The graduation specialist will meet with each student at least 1 hour a week to work on a schoolwork or other programming. It starts with PJ Jacobs Middle School and will assist 20 students in the first year. The Boys and Girls Club expects success with Be Great and Graduate program and hopes to expand it to SPASH and the Ben Franklin Middle School in the next few years.
Continuing Education held an orientation for students interested in learning about starting their own business through the Entrepreneurial Training Program on campus. Austin Leapak takes a closer look.
On Tuesday, the Small Business Development Center of UWSP hosted an orientation for those interested in joining their Entrepreneur Training Program. Eric Kundinger, the program's instructor and banker at Prevail Bank, gives advice to those seeking to join.
It's for anyone that is either potentially in business already or someone that just has the idea of potentially opening a small business. Really what we focus on is working on a business plan and projections through that time. So it's a real good low-cost way to kind of take away a lot of the I guess scariness of potentially opening a business and getting to learn where either it's for you or it's not.
The course has a grant available for students that knocks the price down from $1,000 to $250, making this an inexpensive way for students to find out if they are truly committed to starting a business, because the answer isn't lying in some book.
Business is not all learned in a book. If someone tells you that it's all learned in one book and that's going to tell you everything you need to know about business and how to run a successful one, it doesn't at all. But you got to start somewhere. This lays that foundation, and you really, as a business owner, you never stop learning. All the years that you will be in business, you have to continually learn, you have to continually evolve. You're not just on an island. Again, you can Google all this stuff, and it can be overwhelming, and there's just so many ways to do this, and there's no one size fits all. There really isn't. I think at the end of the day, a lot of us have these ideas, and we don't want to look back 10, 15, 30 years later and have that regret for never even attempting it.
The course will run for 8 weeks to cover everything a small business needs to get started. For SPTV, this has been Austin Lepak.
To find out more, visit the Continuing Education and Outreach webpage on the Business Plan series.
Earlier this week, Gifford's Law Center presented the annual Gun Law Scorecard, which aims to prevent gun violence. For the year of 2019, Wisconsin was graded at a C-. According to the scorecard, states are graded based on the strength of gun laws and showing that the stronger gun laws have lower gun death rates. Although Wisconsin has improved their gun safety laws, that makes them the 12th lowest gun death rate in the country, this report says there is still room for improvement. There have been 70 gun safety bills passed all over the country in 22 states and in D.C. For more information on other states and about the report, you can visit Gifford's Law Center website.
Wegrzyn, a local printing company, has been awarded the Best Workplace and Safety Shield Designations Award in the 2020 Best Workplace in the Americas Awards competition. This is the 4th year the company has received the Best Place to Work award and the 2nd year in a row that they received the Safety Shield Award. This BWA award recognizes companies that create the best environment for their employees. BWA awards are presented by Printing Industries of America to companies annually that meet rigorous standards in human resources practices. Wegrzyn has improved and revamped their workplace by commissioning a 50,000 square foot addition to their headquarters.
This Friday, February 14th, UWSP is holding its annual STEAM Point Day for girls. STEAM Day is a chance for girls in 7th and 8th grade to learn about science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. Young girls will attend hands-on workshops in topics such as film technology, robotic design, and psychology, to name a few. The girls will also discover possible careers and will also attend a lecture by UWSP Media Studies professor Carrie Elza. To learn more about the event and how to attend in the future, check out the outreach page on the UWSP website.
And that's all the news stories we have for you tonight.
Coming up next, we have Michael Wengrzyn with SPTV Sports. We'll be right back after the break.
How you doing, everybody? Mike Wengrzyn here with SPTV Sports. The UWSP men's basketball team lost a tough one against UW Oshkosh 66-59 last night at the Quant Fieldhouse. The Pointers and Titans kept the game close in the first 5 minutes before the Titans started to break away on a 10-0 run. The Pointers would not let the deficit get in their head as they rallied to make it a 4-point difference going into halftime. The two teams would fight for every inch in the second half, with the score being tied 3 different times, but a late 12-point run by the Titans buried the Pointers' chances of a comeback. Ethan Bublitz led the team in scoring with 14 points, while Blake Erkey had a team-leading 9 rebounds. The Pointers fall to 6-5 in WIAC play and are tied for 4th in the conference. They will host UW La Crosse at home on Saturday. UW Stevens Point's men's wrestling team is heading to the WIAC Championships in La Crosse on Friday. Though the team is 0-5 in conference meets, Pointers junior Matt Berlin is 25-0 at this point. SPTV's Alex Strofe caught up with Berlin this week to capture why he's been so successful.
Kicking it with Matt Berlin, 25-0 for the Pointers men's wrestling team ahead of Friday's WIAC Championships. Matt, thanks for taking the time to sit down.
Thanks for having me.
So let's start there, man. 25-0. It's been a heck of a season in your junior campaign. Walk me through what's been working for you this year.
Just down weight from last year. Finished up at 141. Had our returning national runner-up last year. Graduated, so opened up the spot there, and just been working with him a lot, and just really been able to prove myself at 133 this year.
Yeah, let's talk about Ben Vosters. I know you guys have worked together the last few years, and seeing what he did last year, 2nd in the nation, how has that helped you put on this run, 25-0 to start the season?
I went to nationals with him last year to warm him up and stuff and try to get him ready for his matches, and just seeing the big stage and seeing what he did there, it just motivated me. I want to do the same thing that he has.
Yeah, and looking at how you started this season, you have a 4-time state champion from the University of Wisconsin, a championship match, your opening tournament. When you won that match 4-3, is that kind of when you knew this could be a special season?
Yeah, I mean, I thought going in, I was feeling pretty good, just in all-around wrestling, and then when I was able to win that one, it really just showed that I've made big jumps over now coming to my junior year here that, well, if I can beat him, I can really beat anybody.
And you've proved that so far. So going into the WIAC tournament, you took second place last year at your weight class, a second team all WIAC member. What from last year has changed for you as you look to get that first team spot this year?
I've really been working on just getting my attacks, not worried about what other guys doing the whole time. And I've really focused on top, not letting people go, and really working to keep them down.
At 25-0, 3-time WIAC Wrestler of the Week this year, do you feel a sort of pressure, a target on your back, or do you kind of not pay attention to that?
I mean, I feel like there's going to be people trying to come at me, and I just don't really mind it. I'm fine having a little target on my back, just keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm sure nobody will be able to stop me.
Last one for you, Matt. You took 5th at regionals last year. That's coming up in 2 weeks. I know that's probably a date you have circled on your calendar. What's kind of the mindset? What has changed again for you as we get really, really close, only a couple weeks out from regionals?
Just knowing that what we're doing in the room, preparing for any situation that comes up, and just being ready to wrestle at any situation.
Following Friday's conference championship, the team will head to the Midwest Regionals on February 28th. On Monday afternoon, the New York Post reported that the MLB is considering a proposal that would change up the playoff format beginning in 2022. In this proposed change, the number of playoff teams in each league would increase from 5 to 7, and the wildcard game would be eliminated. The number 1 seed would get a bye for the first round, while the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th seeds would then pick their opponents from the remaining seeds for a best-of-3 wildcard series. Reaction to the news on social media by current MLB players was negative, especially towards MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred. However, the proposal would have to be first negotiated with the Players Association, whose collective bargaining agreement runs through the 2021 season. The MLB also announced several new rule changes yesterday, such as a minimum number of batters faced for pitchers in a game and roster designations. These rules will be in effect starting with this upcoming MLB season. The inaugural week of the 2020 XFL season took place this past weekend, as all 8 teams were in action throughout Saturday and Sunday. The league uses different techniques than the NFL for aspects such as kickoffs and point-after conversions, while also allowing viewers to get more of an inside look of operations during the game. The reception to the league's opening weekend was positive, with viewership for each game averaging around 3.2 million and ticket sales generating more revenue in its first week than the AAF accumulated during its brief season last year. This is the 2nd edition of the XFL, founded by WWE CEO Vince McMahon, as the first edition of the league folded after 1 season in 2001. That's all the sports we have for you this week. Up next is Ian Welsh with SPTV Entertainment. Thanks for kicking it with me. I'm Michael Wengrzyn with SPTV Sports.
Tobacco use is the largest preventable cause of death
and disease in the United States.
Cigarette smoke kills more than
480,000 Americans
each year.
41,000 of these deaths
are from exposure
to secondhand smoke.
Smoking harms nearly
every organ in the body.
Every day,
more than
3,800 kids
under the age of 18
smoke their first cigarette. More than 16 million Americans
live with a smoking-related disease.
On average,
smokers die 10 years younger
than non-smokers.
Smoking causes
cancer,
heart disease,
strokes, lung diseases,
diabetes,
and chronic bronchitis.
Welcome back, pointers. Romance is in the air with an annual Valentine's Day concert by UWSP's Marshfield Music Department on Friday, February 14th. The concert features the Symphonic Band, which is led by guest conductor Charles A. McGuire. McGuire is the director of the Desert Winds of Las Vegas, Nevada, and the performance includes 48 pieces that are full of variety, some of which are Charm by Kevin Putz, Guys and Dolls by Frank Lesser, and Sleep by Eric Whitaker. Tickets are $7 and can be purchased at the UWSP website by searching tickets or at the Tickets and Information Center located in the DUC. Point students can attend free with their student ID on the day of the performance. The concert is open to the public and starts at 7:30 p.m. in the Helen Connor Laird Theater at the Marshfield campus. Well, most of us think that bottle caps are simply pieces of trash to be thrown away. But a special event here on campus is helping us to use bottle caps in a more artistic sense. I got a behind-the-scenes look at this very unique arts and crafts project. SPTV Centertainment will be hosting a bottle cap crafting event on February 22nd, but according to event producer Kelsey Melberg, this is not the first time that a crafting event has taken place at the UWSP campus.
Well, we put on craft nights here. Like all of us event producers each put on one craft night a semester, so there should be a total of 6. We're doing bottle cap keychains, so we have an ability to just make like a small keychain. We're doing bottle cap necklaces. We have necklace chains for it, and we also are doing bottle cap magnets.
This event gives students the opportunity to have fun, make new friends, and create all sorts of interesting pieces of art.
But I know in the past they've done mason jar lanterns, where you can paper mache the inside of a clear mason jar that you would use for canning, and put a candle in and make it almost like a candle holder, which I think that's a really cool idea. And you can make shapes out of that, like if you paper mache a heart and then you can have your candles shine through. We've done quilts in the past.
And although this event is fun and intriguing, it also provides a very meaningful message for students to embrace their creative side.
It's a new fun thing, like if you've never done something like this before, like, oh, I've never done anything with bottle caps before, and that's kind of a neat idea. It's creative. It's just a way to, to be more creative, to get in touch with your creative self, because I feel, there's a lot of people that aren't in a field where they can be super creative. They're not, if they're not in like an arts field, or if they're in like a very, like if they're involved in STEM or something, they don't get to come out as much. But it's for everybody. It's just, it's for any sort of, if anybody who wants to get in touch with their creative side.
This event will take place on Saturday, February 22nd from 7 to 9 p.m. in the Encore Room, which is located on the first floor of the DUC. This event is free with a student ID or $5 without. If you would like more information about this event, you can contact the Centertainment office in the basement floor of the DUC, or you can also find them on their spin page. This past weekend, history was made at the biggest night in film of the 92nd Annual Academy Awards. With lots of anticipation and predictions throughout the award season, all the stars came out for this magical night. Well, Brad Pitt won his first acting Oscar for actor in a supporting role in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So congratulations to him. Laura Dern is also a first-time recipient for actress in a supporting role for her role in Marriage Story. Joaquin Phoenix won Best Actor for his role in The Joker, and Renee Zellweger who got the Best Actress Award for her incredible performance of Judy Garland in Judy. However, the history that was made at this year's awards was with international films. Parasite, a South Korean film, was nominated for 6 Oscars and won 4 of them, including Best International Film, Best Director, Best Original Screenplay, and Best Picture. This is the first time in the awards show history that an international film won Best Picture. The crowd was going crazy as Parasite was a fan favorite from the beginning, according to E! News. Parasite is also playing at the Stevens Point campus movie theater for a limited time. For a complete list of winners, you can go to the Oscars website. I think that's actually pretty incredible that an international film won the Best Picture, so congratulations to them as well. It's really nice to shake things up once in a while. And that's all the entertainment stories we have for you this week. Coming up next is George Saris with Pointer Politics. I'm Ian Welsh with SPTV Entertainment.
Are you interested in pursuing a career in animals or just looking for a way to help preserve wildlife? Then the Wildlife Society might be just for you. As one of the largest organizations at UWSP, you will have your chance to help in projects that study and preserve animals, network with professionals, and meet like-minded people. Join us Tuesdays at 5 p.m. and join the Wildlife Society today.
SPTV strives to represent the student body and Stevens Point community.
We are a professional student-run organization that provides hands-on experience for students to create the best possible content.
SPTV encourages creativity and is open to all students. Stop by our office for more information.
It's a very welcoming place. Even if you don't know what support you need, just coming down, we can look at individual schedules and talk about all the different options that are available.
I believe that the TLC can definitely help students even for the slightest little bit. The writing lab, especially because you're going to have to write papers for any of the classes, they're able to proofread those and give you feedback on those.
The writing lab has been around since 1973, and it's the second oldest writing lab in the United States, which is kind of cool.
I was surprised by everything that I learned about TLC because I didn't realize there were so many resources for students.
love to see more students down here. I mean, it's great that we have 35% of the student population utilizing us, but that means that we have 65% that didn't utilize us, and I know we have support services that could benefit just about everybody.
It means to me that I'm able to add another link between the TLC and the students. I know that as a big organization, it's kind of hard to get word out to the students, especially because they're not going out and meeting with the students or being part of their classes or anything like that. So having that extra link probably helps them out a lot.
And when you come down, there's free coffee, tea, and hot cocoa, so make themselves at home and learn a little bit about how they can be supported.
Welcome back, Pointers. Looking at some state news, the Wisconsin Assembly released a series of bills to help local farmers. The bills were created by Republicans in the state Senate and led by Representative Tyler August. In addition to a set of new bills, Assembly Republicans said they plan to add to similar bills made by Governor Tony Evers. 5 bills and 2 amendments are included in the Republicans' plan and aim to address long and short-term issues in the agriculture industry. Both Republicans and Democrats in the state see these as necessary and hope the changes benefit farmers in the next couple years. Moving on now to national news, the race for the Democratic nomination is neck and neck between Pete Buttigieg and Bernie Sanders. Both sides call for a recanvass after Buttigieg beat Sanders by 1/10 of a point in the Iowa caucus. CNN's Andy Rose has more on the story.
We received 2 requests for limited scope recanvass.
The Sanders and Buttigieg campaigns are officially calling for a partial recanvass in Iowa of a total of 143 precincts.
And within the next 48 hours, the Iowa Democratic Party will return its assessment and description of next steps to each respective campaign that made a request.
The close call in Iowa, Buttigieg leading Sanders by just 1/10 of a point, has triggered major mudslinging between the two candidates. Both claimed victory before all the results were in, and now the two have each other in their crosshairs.
My friend Mr. Buttigieg and my friend Joe Biden, they have dozens and dozens of billionaires contributing to their campaign. I think in both cases, they have more than 40 billionaires contributing. We don't have any billionaires.
You cannot risk alienating Americans at this critical moment. And that's where I part ways with my friend Senator Sanders.
But will a recanvass change anything? The Sanders campaign said in a statement they don't expect it to change the results, but say, quote, it is a necessary part of making sure Iowans can trust the final results of the caucus.
This was not the caucus that the hundreds of thousands of Iowa Democrats deserved. And as I said a week ago, I apologize deeply for this.
I'm Andy Rose reporting.
The recanvass will take place over the next few days and will hopefully give the Iowa citizens a fairer caucus. Though Trump's impeachment trial is over, the aftermath of the impeachment is still going strong. 2 witnesses of the trial were recently fired, and many believe it is out of retaliation. Caitlin Collins has more on that story.
Today, the White House is standing by the abrupt firing of 2 key witnesses in the impeachment inquiry.
They weren't fired, they were moved back to their original jobs.
President Trump has continued his streak of vengeance, claiming Lieutenant Colonel Alex Vindman deserved to be fired because of poor performance reviews while on the National Security Council, though his attorneys called that obviously false. CNN has learned that before they were let go, both Vindman and EU Ambassador Gordon Sondland were quietly planning to leave the administration. But Trump didn't want them going quietly and fired them instead. Officials still claim it wasn't retaliation.
The president wanted to retaliate because of the testimony. That testimony happened, was it in November or December? It's quite a while ago now.
In light of the firings, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer today called on the nation's inspectors general to protect whistleblowers, telling the Pentagon Vindman was viciously attacked for bravely stepping forward to tell the truth. The president is still lashing out at those he can't fire, continuing his onslaught against Utah Senator Mitt Romney, who broke with the party and voted for impeachment.
How's Mitt Romney? You keep him. We don't want him.
Today, Trump also touted his administration's $4.8 trillion budget proposal that features major cuts and eligibility changes in federal safety net programs like Medicaid, food stamps, and disability claims, while boosting military spending.
We're we're going to have a very good budget with a very powerful military budget because we have no choice. Okay?
President Trump will continue to move forward with his budget plan for the remainder of his first term. That's all for the political news this week. Now back to Kenna and Nate. I'm George Saris with SPTV Politics.
Thanks, George. That's all we have for you this week in SPTV News.
Until next time, Stevens Point, have a great night.